Alright, here we have it then. Studs installed, head gasket on, and cylinder head will be landing on this engine. Bit of a fiddly job, but it will go on. Slides on nicely. So another step is to remove those original washers from the bolts and just chuck it there on those studs. Alright, so have a look, peeps. This is what we've got. The studs with the washers. So this is how far they protrude. Right, so I've put some oil on the threads and those washers, and now I'm going to open the box with the nuts. So those are the APE heavy duty nuts. I got all those nuts somewhat snug there. Right, and now it's time to torque them up.
A few moments later.
Okay, so next step, as you can see, the shims and tappets are in, and I've lubed everything really nicely with assembly lube. The camshafts as well, and the lobes. So here we have the cam holders, nicely lubricated from the bottom. Obviously camshafts, cam chain and tappets, well, everything really is lubricated with what I tend to use, Permatex assembly lube. All going on nicely. So basically the top end is all assembled, the engine is timed. I've also checked valve clearances and they're all good. So the last thing to do now really is just to put the clutch basket and the plates in, and I guess I'm going to be able to just put the covers on and put the engine back in the frame. Okay, so just about to install this clutch basket. Hopefully camera will catch it. Pay attention to those ramps here. I had some little wear and some little burring on that, and I basically used sandpaper to get it all nice and flat. So I'm not entirely sure. Can you see this, how nice and flat this is? Alright, so another thing I've done, I've just put some oil on those teeth here, just to help it move initially. Spacer installed, now the bearing goes on, everything nicely oiled up, of course. Time for the thick washer, also nicely oiled up, and then the inner clutch hub. Another washer and the nut. In the meantime, I got it all torqued up. And now it's time to install all the clutch plates. Alternately, I'm going to be installing the steel plates and the friction plates. Up next we've got the clutch push rod and the push piece, as the service manual refers to. A small amount of oil on all those parts to make them slide easier. And then we go on with the pressure plate. Installation of the clutch springs, nice and easy job. I decided to screw them in by hand. This gives me a better feel. And finally torque them up to between 12 and 14 Newton meters. A little bit of oil on the seal on the oil filter, screws in nicely. So very close to finishing this engine. Clutch cover goes on. The gasket is reused as it's in perfect condition. A few little bolts securing it, and the engine is almost ready. Alright peeps, so here I have it. The engine's here, fully assembled. Here's the RF. And so I'm going to put the engine in now. I'm not going to film how I put it in because I've done this before. It's on the channel when I was building the 1100cc engine. I'm going to put it in and then time for first start. Hopefully it's all going to work. Alright peeps, so here we have it. RF 1146. So effectively 1150. As you can see, I've used a different exhaust than last time. Lovely cam with this carbon end. I've also used different headers than the last time. This is actually a stock headers refurbished. Yeah, just to prove to you what it is, you see 1074, so those are the cylinders from GSXR 1100W, and they've been bored out 2.5 millimeters to 78 millimeters pistons, which effectively with the GSXR 1100 crankshaft gives us 1146cc. So I've also rejected the carbs, and hopefully this will start and this will run. Let's hope.